here we go to 5 red lights from the Monaco Grand Prix, the freestyle pole, dual-man career in second, and it lights out, and away we go. If Free gets a good start, dual-man career getting good start, Aiken getting swamped by King, and I think I like it back. As you can see there, Dylan going 3 wide with you there. But I'm gonna go on board. Oh, there's contact there, Dylan, and then we're gonna go on board. You can just see there, down the inside goes Dylan, swamping through on the inside. As you can see, a bit more contact. But the road, but it is, as you can see, going wheel to wheel through. I think that's between Ilot. Yes, that is Ilot, and now we're going to be on board with Dylan as he watches these two fighting and he almost runs into the back of them. Jack Aiken there in 3rd, and in 4th place, I believe that is Jordan King, if I'm not mistaken, and Ilot in 5th. Dylan now in 6th, but look at this circuit. This circuit is amazing, but not, as you can see there, Dylan maybe thought about making the move, but not at the moment. At the front of the pack then is Nick DeFries. Nick DeFries leading from dual-man career, who is leading the field. So you can just, and that's a very exciting. That was a very exciting first lap. Seeing the moves here from Dylan. Dylan might be trying to chase down Callum Ilott. I think it's Callum Ilott who's trying to chase down. We're on board now. Through the tunnel we go. Dylan not too far back, just a bit too far back there though to make a move. But maybe you might be able to get by on the main straight or going into turn 1. Yeah, Callum Ilott he's got to try and maybe defend or something, because Dylan is not too far behind. And he didn't really get a very good run out of that final turn. You're going to look back and you can see there, Dylan all over him. As you can see there, Dylan thinking about the move, but not yet on the move. But maybe he's going to try around the outside. He has a little look, but not there. Just space wasn't really there. As Ilott goes defensive, it's down the inside goes Dylan. What a move from the British man, who moves him up into 5th position from 8th on the grid. What a start this has been for Dylan. What a start this has been. So you can see now, I think that is Jack King starting to get closer to Aiken. He's going to go on board then with Jordan King. And you can see now he's trying his absolute hardest. But he's made a lock up there. He has made a lock up with watching on board. And now as you look behind, Dylan is all over him now. Dylan mounted the curb. Dylan mounted that curb. So now this might not be Dylan might not be making the move going into 2-1. We're going to see, but he gets a great run out of turn 1. Here he goes, going up the hill. It's going to be side by side, and Dylan gets the move. Does he get the move? Yes, he does. Dylan now in front of Jordan King. Dylan might have almost ran into the back of Aiken now. Because now we're going to go on board. We're going to look from behind now. You can see him blasting down. Look at this circuit. And Dylan has a go, but he kind of outbreaks himself. Yeah, he almost outbroke himself and ran completely into the back of Aiken. He ran a bit wide through there, but as you can see, Aiken now having to defend from Dylan. He's really having to defend. It's all clean so far. No DNS or anything at the moment. Just going to keep an eye on this battle. What can Dylan do? Again, Dylan gets a great run out of turn 1. We're going to go on board with Dylan. He's going to go side by side, but he has to lift. He has to yield. He can't get by Aiken, but maybe he's going to go round the outside. It's going to be close, but just not enough. That was just not enough room there for Dylan to squeeze through, and Aiken makes a lock up, a big lock there. Now, Aiken must be wearing out his tyres from that big lock up. That's not going to do him any good. But Dylan's squirmy there, Dylan. If he'd have corrected that a bit too heavily, he could have gone flying into the barriers. But here he goes then. This is one of the opportunities you can make a move, but I don't think it's going to happen. No, it's just not going to. It's just a bit too far back. You can see there, but he gets a good exit. But that's not really enough. And leading this race is Nick de Vries. De Vries is just keeping the lead from Dual-Man Career. Then you've got Aiken, then Dylan. Then you have got Gun King and Callum Ilott, then Hugh Bear. So now we're going to go on board. There's a big lock up there. And where's Dylan? Dylan round the outside. And Dylan through on Aiken. Dylan through and round the outside. There, Dylan trying. That was a very good move from Dylan. Very good move. We're just watching this lead battle. Nothing's really happening too much in this race. But de Vries looking not as quick as he really has been this season. He was quick. He looked quite quick, but obviously wasn't that quick in last race. He was decent enough in qualifying, but the reverse grid, he's just about staying in front. And look behind that, you can see Dylan is not too far back. So we're going to look further, let's go a bit further back. So we're going to keep Mazepin. Mazepin and clean air. We've got Hiroshi there, and he's not like properly trying to get pushing and getting away from second place. What's happened to de Vries? De Vries engine failure. De Vries engine failure at the final sector. This is going to cause chaos in this collision. The collision there. It's been a big collision. Dylan, 3 cars involved in that, and Dylan going to go down the inside. There's contact. That could have been a big disaster. That could have been a disaster for both drivers. Now Dylan's got to look back, and he's now being chased by Jack Aiken. Which way will Aiken have a look? No, he won't really have a look. What seems that was in the final sector. No wonder de Vries was slow. He must have been carrying an engine problem. But that was a crazy final sector. Been trying to put the pressure on, but it's not seeming that he can. But here he goes in. Oh, almost a bit of contact there and a little bit of a slide for Dylan. That's just not going to get him in front of Dual-Man Career. We're going to look further back then. Oh, and people are in. This is Jack Aiken into the pit lane. Also into, you can see more cars going by, and into the pit lane. Another driver. You can see, I think that is Callum Ilott. Yes, that is Callum Ilott. Because here is now Antoine Hubert, who is now third. Who is third place right now. Ooh, what's happened to Dylan? I think Dylan was slow through the hairpin. He might have just had something happen on the entry of the hairpin. But I don't really know what happened there. Okay, so on board with Dylan then. Dylan got a bit close there, but he kind of went a bit wide. Then going into there, he tries to rev the engine out, but he didn't really get any movement. Starting to bright up there. Whoa, with Dylan there with the slide. You can see now it's brightening up. No one. I'm surprised that people actually did come into the pits, and that could have been a race-ending crash. Dylan was lucky there to not hit the barriers, whereas he's trying to chase down German Korea, but it's not really working around the streets of Monaco. And I look further back, who is in third? I think this is Jack Aiken. I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is Jack Aiken. It's Boccalacci. This is Boccalacci. And then ahead of Nikita Mazepin. Then after Nikita Mazepin comes Carland, I believe. Yes, Carland. And then a bit further back, because we've got Delatraz. And we're going to go back up to the front, and you can see. I'm surprised that those drivers pit, because I think it will be a no-stop race. But as you can see from some of the tyre wear, as you can see from like Dylan and some of these front runners, and like the top three, it is kind of slidey. As German Korea is in. German Korea is in to the pit lane. So now what will this mean for Dylan? Does this mean it's a guaranteed win for Dylan? He doesn't come into the pits? Well, he's just got to keep up this pace. Has anyone else pitted? Few drivers haven't. This is Carland in P2, then in P3 is Delatraz. And P4 is Lucas Giotto. And then this. And then a bit further back, I think it's I don't know if this is Calamine or not. But what a race this is turning out to be so far. Let's see, does Dylan respond with the overcut, or does he stay out? Let's see, and he stays out. Dylan stays out on track. There's a little bit, another wobble there, and that could have been a race-ending crash as well. That could have been his second race-ending crash, but luckily keeping it out of the barriers. That final corner proving tricky for Dylan, and a few other drivers being caught out as well. Right, the last corner, because here we are from the start, the final lap of this race. As you can see, Dylan coming through this final sector. A little bit wide through Rascal. Yeah, and almost hitting that inside wall, but okay at the moment. It's the final lap of the race. You can kind of tell that Dylan's tyres are going off here, sliding a little bit. But what a commanding race this has been. Dylan, P8 on the starting grid. He said when he came into this weekend before practice, he didn't think he would be winning any races this weekend. He said he was just trying to hope for maybe a top 5 or maybe a podium. After practice, he said the car felt good and it felt easy to control around the streets of Monaco. It didn't feel as hard as he thought it would be. And then going into qualifying for future race, Dylan got pole, and then got pole by a few tenths of a second over Antoine Hubert. And then going at the start of the feature race, Dylan being overtaken by Hubert and thinking it was all over. He was just getting held up by Hubert, but an undercut strategy helped him get the win. Today, though, from 8th on the grid, this has been one of the best wins in F2 we've seen, as Dylan comes round the final turn to win in Monaco. How about that for a win, and you can see Dylan celebrating there. How about that for a Monaco win? Well, what a race that was. What a race that was for Prema and Dylan, back on top winning both races in a row.
What set them apart from the competition here?
What a race, Alex. Every so often we get a spectacular like we did today. Less focus on strategy and time management and more on just pushing it to the limits and battling it out for those top positions. Jack Aiken, one of his closest subscribers, fifth place, result, time Dylan, but 2 wins in a row for Dylan. That Premier team looking
like
strong.
it's time for the victory ceremony once again.
Time for the
As
podium.
I can see the drivers beginning to make their way out for the celebrations. You can see it on their faces. It's another marvellous team win for Prema today.
What a race for Dylan. What a race that was indeed for Dylan. What a race that was for Dylan. As you can see that was the results for the sprint race and the feature race. Dylan taking the win as well. And the results in the weekend, Dylan gets 46 points, and then second Antonio Bear, who gets 19 points. And third is Roccolecci with 15. That was the standings of how many points each driver got. 0 the standings now. Dylan 44 points clear of Jack Aiken, and Antonio Bears made it fourth with Roccolecci now in front of Calamala. Mick Schumacher up to 7th in the standings, and Wallace 2 make Dylan leads. Overall, for the team standings, Prema extend their lead by 13 points over Campos Racing, and that is all. And we'll come back to see Azerbaijan in a few days' time.